If you are passionate about using AI to build projects, then you are in the right place. In today's video, we are going to use AI to build a complete real estate application using Nextjs, MongoDB, and for authentication, we are going to use JSON Web Token. But before we dive into today's exciting content, hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss out on amazing videos. Your support helps me grow and keeps the awesome content coming your way. With this one being said, let's look at the live demo before we get into code. For this project, we're going to have two navbars. One is going to be public and then private, which means that if a user is not logged in, the user will see this navbar and the user can only view a property. If I get back to the home page here, a user can perform a search and we have this call to action. If I click on that, it will ask me to log in before I can create any property. Let's get back to the home page. Below here, we have some content, and that is properties for sale and for rent. If I click on any of these, it will take me to the page that lists all the properties. So back to the home page, we also have why choose us. If I click on any of these, it will take me to the about us with this content, our mission, and then why choose us, and then meet our team. And AI is going to design and build this entire project. So back to the home page, we have the features properties, which are these ones. And then I can click on the view all properties. And this is the page that lists all the properties. So back to the home page again. Below here, we have some call to action and then a responsive footer. And for each of the property, we have the name, location, price, and then the facilities, and then view details. At this page, a user can send an inquiry to the property owner, and these are the information about the property owner. And before sending an inquiry, unless you sign in. And for each of the properties, we have multiple images, and as you can see, the carousel. And we are going to use a package for the carousel. I'm going to log in as a property owner. So in here, I'm going to click on the login. But in case I don't have any account, I'm going to register, which is this one. And I'm going to provide the following data as Emmanuel, and then the email, something like that. And then the password. And then account. As soon as I register, this is my name, and then this is my dashboard. As I stand right now, I have no property being listed, and I haven't got any inquiries from any user. So I'm going to add a new property by clicking on list property. And in here, we have some dummy data that we can pre-fill. If I click on this, it is going to pre-fill the form with the data, likewise this or that. And then below here, I'm going to, let me check this one as finished. And then the location, well, let me maintain this. And I'm going to choose the images I want to upload. For this, let me use something like this. Or not that. What about this one? And let me select multiple images. And then create. As you can see, it is uploading the images, and we're going to use Cloudinary to save or to store all our images. All right, let me get back to my dashboard, and I have one property, which is this one, and then I can delete or I can edit. So if I view details about this, as you can see, since I'm the property owner, I will not see the link to send an inquiry. So let me get back to the home page and let me look at the property that I just listed, which is this one. I have opened the same application using a different browser or in the incognito mode. and I'm going to view this property listed by Emmanuel, and now I can send an inquiry. I'm going to sign in or have an account, or let me sign in. I think I have an email called Ben. I think I forgot the password, so let me register for a new user. Let me call this one Sam, and then Sam2 or Sam1, and then these are the details. And now I'm going to send an inquiry to this property owner. I'm going to say that, hi, can I give you, let me look at the price, which is this. I'm going to say, can I give you $700,000 and then send an inquiry. Your inquiry has been sent. Now for the property owner, I'm going to the dashboard and then inquiries. This time around, we have one received, which is from Sam, and then this is the message. Now the property owner can now update to resolved or to archived. Let me change to resolved, and it has been updated. And for the sender, if I get back to the dashboard inquiries, we have one sent, and then the state is that it has been resolved. And also the property owner can also update. I think I chose this email. Yeah, this one. The owner can update a property. Let me change this one to full house, and then update, and it worked. Likewise here, it also worked. And then we can also perform this filtering by searching. Let me search for house and then apply filters, and they all have this title. What about full house? Apply, and we have only 2 listings with full house title in their name. So guys, this is what we are going to build using AI. We are going to build RealEstateApp using Nextjs and MongoDB. We are going to use AI for the entire project. And I'm going to show you my process when it comes to building projects using AI. And we have a couple of options or approaches or methods that we can use. But for this project, I'm going to show you the minimal and then the easiest way. So first step is that make sure to set up your environment. Even though the AI can do it, but sometimes the AI might not have the updated documentation for installing such packages or by creating your project. This is what I use, and it works for me perfectly. Next step is we're going to use AI code editor, and that is WindServe, which is from Codium. So make sure to download for your operating system, and if you check the pricing, they offer a free plan of which we can try out. For me, I have it already, and this is my WindServe editor. So the next step is that since we're going to use Nextjs, we are going to create our Nextjs application by copying this snippet and then back to WindServe. I have already created a folder called RealEstate. So back to my WindServe, I'm going to open the editor like that and then paste the snippet and hit enter. And it is asking for the project name. I'm going to use the same name as my folder. Therefore, I'm going to use dot or period, and then I'm going to accept the default configurations. Alright, it is done. So let me clear it. And for my other AI project, I used to have what is called PRD, and that is Product Requirements Document, which means we need to prepare the documentation about your project that includes the overview, the features, the packages, the UI, and others. But for this approach, we are going to use the PRD to guide us. The reason why the PRD is going to guide with the developers but not the AI per se is that I want the AI to freely build this project by adding a couple of features that I may not have it. But assuming what we have listed, and that is what we are going to provide in the PRD, are not parts of the main project, then we're going to ask the AI to do it. So back to the README file here, I am going to outline the features only. So I'm going to remove everything from here, and I'm going to provide the following markdown as project features. Or let's begin with the project overview. And I'm going to say that this project is for real estate, where a user can view properties and add properties to the list. And we are going to use Nextjs, then comma MongoDB and Tailwind CSS for this project. And let's look at the features. And the AI is going to outline the features as user can view properties, can also delete, and then the next one is a user can make inquiries, and a user can view inquiries, and then I'm gonna have the property owner can manage inquiries, and then properties here. So these are the basic feature for this project. Now that we have the overview and then the features, it is time for us to allow the AI to create this project. And for WindServe AI, they offer these features as write and then chat. Write is similar to agent when using Cursor AI. For write, it can create files and folders in our project, and it can also scan through our entire project and make some modifications. And for chat, we can work on a single file. So now that we have the project overview, I'm gonna copy this content, and back here I'm gonna say that let's build. Then I'm gonna move to the next line by pressing Shift Enter and then quote paste that. And I'm gonna say that Nextjs has been created already, and I'm gonna say that begin with user authentication and use JWT for the authentication. Begin with the data modeling, and I'm gonna hit enter for this one, and let's wait. And it is asking to install the following packages. Let me accept it. Alright, let me accept all. And let's look at the package.json file. It has installed Mongoose and MongoDB, and in the lib folder we have the DB configuration file, and then the JWT, we have it as that, but we don't have the environment variable. So I'm gonna say that create.env file. And in here it has some technical issues, so let's do the .env file manually as .env. We are going to provide the JWT secret and then the MongoDB connection string. For me, I have installed MongoDB locally, so I'm going to use the local connection string, but in case you don't have it, then navigate to mongodb.com, sign in, and all what we're going to do here is to get the MongoDB connection string. Let me sign in using my GitHub account. Let me accept and then submit, and then select the main goal. I'm going to use build project that I have in mind. So we're going to use JavaScript, and then the type of data, I'm going to use something like this customer. You can select any of these. For the project, you're gonna use, let me select none and then finish. Select the free one, and for the cluster I'm gonna change to real estate, and then create deployment. Make sure to copy this back to our project. Let me place this one here as my password and then my user. I'm going to paste it here as that, and then choose a connection string, select the drivers, and real estate is provisioning. Let's wait. Alright, it is done. All what we want is this connection string. Copy that and done. And let's perform these configurations. Click on database access, not this one, but instead the network access. We want to make sure that any user can access our DB. So click on add IP address and click on allow access from anywhere and then confirm. So back to our project, let me paste the connection string here and let's check. It has the username and then the password, therefore I can remove this one, and I'm going to cut the connection string from here and then use it here as that. Alright, so let me put them in quote and let's run the application as npm run dev to make sure that everything is working perfectly. Nice, there is no error, so we are good to go. And this is the final result, but it says that this is your property listing, therefore I cannot contact this agent. So I'm going to open a new window, which is this, and then I'm going to register for a new user. I'm going to call this one as Ben and register. I got registration failed. Don't worry, I think it worked. So I'm going to log in using this and we will fix that error. So let's get back to the properties here. I want to contact this and now I have the option to send a message. I'm gonna say hi for this and send. And it says that your message has been sent successfully. So I'm going to close this and I want to show the agent name and the number of contacts for a particular lesson. So back to the AI, I'm going to say that on the property details page, include the agent's name, number of inquiries, and enter. And let me accept all. Alright, and we got this format as agent information. Let's hide the email and I'm gonna say that hide the email field and make the layout more professional. Don't worry, we're gonna have a video to style the entire project, but at the moment let's use this one. And let's have a look. And we have listed by Emmanuel, and then for the other user we have it as that. Since we are going to build this project incrementally, and that is feature by feature, let's begin with the user authentication. Therefore, we are going to say that implement the authentication for this project and then hit enter and make sure to select right. And it is creating the auth mirror. Let's look at the folder structure here, and indeed we have it here as the auth mirror, and it is creating the route for the login in and then the registration. Let's also locate the route, and that is in the app. We have the API and then the auth file with the login in route and then the register and then the profile. So it is done, and let me accept all. Let's check the terminal to confirm everything is working fine, and if I reload the front end, everything is also fine. Now that the backend APIs are done for the authentication, I'm gonna say that implement the authentication on the front end, and also a Navbar with the necessary links. And it is creating the auth context. Instead of using Redux, it is using context which is this folder, and of context is this one, and it is creating the Navbar. So let me collapse the API, and we have the component with the Navbar, and also the pages that's going to consume the APIs. All right, it is done. Accept, and let's look at the pages here. App login / page for the login in. Let's look at the UI, and this is what we have. Reload, and we have the properties here. It is returning 404, but if I click on the login, I have the form register. I also have the form. Let me remove the default styling. So let's locate. Let me collapse everything from here. In the app here for the global CSS, remove everything from here with exception of the tagging CSS directives. And if I get back to the home page, this is what we have, and then the properties here. Let's try out the registration. I'm going to say the full name for this as Emmanuel, and then this is my password and register. And we got unexpected JSON. Let me check the console. Likewise, the terminal here, it says that please define the JWT variable. So let's locate, or let me add a file called .env, and I'm gonna place let's locate the lib folder for JWT, which is this. And then in the environment variable, JWT is equal to this. And let me reload or rerun the server. Let me try by reloading, and I'm gonna say Emmanuel and register, and we have been redirected to the home page, and I have logout, which means that I have been registered. So as soon as a user registered, a user is being automatically logged in. So I'm going to log out, and it worked fine. I'm going to log in using my account as ima@gmail.com and sign in. And indeed, it worked. Now that the authentication is working, we are going to work on the adding of properties. So here, I will say that build upon the previous logics by adding property logics. Alright, it is done. So let's confirm. Unless I log in before I can list a property and add the property here. And we have the following. Let's check the model. Let me collapse everything here. Models, we have the property with a title, description, address. So let me do that. And it is an apartment or a house. It is for rent. Features, I'm going to use the bedroom of, let me say 1. And then bathroom is also 1. Area, for example, this, and parking available. And then add property, the zip code, something like this, and add. Even though I have logged in, but it says that please log in to access these resources. So let me get back to Cursor AI to fix that. I'm going to say that even though I have logged in, but upon creating a property, it says that, and then code, paste that and hit enter. The issue here is that it is not passing in the token upon creating the property. Alright, accept all, and let's try again. Add property here, and it says that authentication error. I'm going to say that I have gotten different error, and then paste that, and then let me provide the URL as that, and then hit enter. Alright, so let's try out. And instead of us manually entering the data, it feels boring. So we're going to ask the AI to pre-fill the form with some dummy data so that it's going to make our life easier. So I'm going to say that instead of manually entering the data for property, pre-fill the form or the state with dummy content for a property. Alright, it is done. Accept. Let me reload. It says that please log in to add a property. Let's fix this issue. As soon as I reload, the login user is being lost. So I'm going to say that upon page reload, the login user got lost, and it says that log in to continue. Accept, and let me reload and go to login. Let me also provide default details upon logging in component. Note that it's supposed to be in the pages here. So for the email, I'm going to use email@gmail.com, and then the password. This one will avoid manually entering the data, and I got it. If I reload, let's see, and we have, and the login user is being lost again. So I'm going to say that the same issue persists. So fix it. Alright, so let's try out. If I log in and then reload, now the user has been persisted. So let's add a property here, and it has provided these dummy data for this and that or that. Let's add this one, and I'm going to say that add property, and it says that please log in. The same issue persists. I'm going to say that after logging in and to create a property I got, and I'm going to say that even though a user is logged in. And let's try out. I'm going to create this one and then add property. And we got this error for the image. So I'm going to copy this. And then I'm going to say that fix this issue. And paste. Enter. It is going to add the SRC to the next.config.js. Alright, accept. And reload. It is going to display all the properties here, and that is / properties, and we got the properties as well. What we want to include here is file upload, and we are going to ask the AI to use Cloudinary Mortar and Cloudinary Mortar package. So back to the AI here, I'm going to say that for the image upload, or let me say for the images upload, use Cloudinary, then Mortar and Mortar-storage-Cloudinary package. Hit enter. It is asking to install these packages, and while it is installing, let's visit cloudinary.com and make sure to sign in. All what we want is the Cloudinary API key and then the cloud name. What we want is the cloud name. Copy that, and it is done. Accept. Let me locate the environment variable, which is this. I think it is not using any environment variable here. So in the lib folder for the Cloudinary, it needs the cloud name. So I'm going to copy this one in the environment variable. And also, let me confirm one more time. The Cloudinary API key And lastly, the Cloudinary secret. So let's get back here. This is my cloud name. Paste API key. Click on go to API key. And then this is my API key. Copy that. Paste. And then the secret. Let me enter my password. And then copy that. Paste. And that is it. So let's get back to the front end. Reload, and then add property here. Let me locate the image field. We have it. Let me prefill with the commercial, and for the image I'm going to upload. I think I don't have nice images on my PC, so let me use these ones. And it says that uploading images, and we have an error, which is this. So for this one, as soon as the image is being selected, it uploads to Cloudinary. We don't want that. We want to hit add property before uploading the image. I'm going to say that avoid uploading the images as soon as they are selected, but instead upload when the button is clicked, and fix this after selecting images, and then quote, paste, and then enter. Alright, accept all, reload, and click on this to prefill. Select the image. Let me select one, and then let me create. The image is uploading, so let's wait, and it worked. Perfect. If I click on the view details, we don't have a page for that, so I'm gonna copy this URL, and there's a short way for implementing a logic. Just copy the URL, and back here I'm gonna say that implement this logic, paste, and then enter. It knows that it needs a particular page for display the property details. Alright, so let's try out, and indeed it worked. And it says that contact agent, and then message here. Let's fix this error. It needs to await the ID in the param. So I'm gonna copy this, and then even including the route. Back here, I'm gonna use fix, and then quote, and then enter, accept, and reload. We still have an error, which is this one. It has even messed up with the previous one. So I'm gonna say that you have messed up the previous working logic. Revert and fix this. Alright, and now it worked. If I go to properties here and view details about this, we have it. Likewise, the one with the image. We are going to have a dashboard where a user can manage his or her properties and enquiries. Back to the editor, I'm gonna say that implement a dashboard where a login user can manage his or her properties and enquiries, and then populate users listings, users properties, and hit enter. Alright, so let's have a look, and we have a link to the dashboard. If I click on that, and we have the listings and then the enquiries. Under the listings, these are the properties that has been created by the login user. The next step is going to be the enquiries. We want to populate all the enquiries here. Let's get into that. We are going to work on the enquiries, and this is what we want to achieve. we want to fetch all the inquiries that has been received by a certain property or by the login user, and also all the inquiries that has been sent by the login user. We also want to update the inquiries either pending or approved or rejected. So the prompt goes like this: let's work on the inquiries by providing all the inquiries that has been sent and received, and an option to update the inquiry status either pending, approved, or rejected. With this one, let's hit enter. Alright, it is done, so let me accept. And if I reload and go to dashboard and then the inquiries, and this is what we have: received and then the sent. And for each of the inquiries, we have the property, from, and then the email, and we can reply using email. And I can update either resolved or contacted or archived. And if I click on the sent, we have no sent inquiries. Let's get back to the home page. For the home page, we want to remove the edit icon, and also for the details, we want to hide the edit and then delete. We want this page to be public. But before sending inquiry, we want the user to log in before the user can send an inquiry. We are going to make both the listings of the properties and view details of a property public, which means either you have logged in or not, you can view details about a property. So back to the editor, this is a prompt. For the property list and details, make it public, and before sending an inquiry, a user needs to log in. So I'm going to hit enter. Alright, it is done. So let me accept and let me reload. I still see the edit and delete. If I go to properties, and I still see the edit here, but if I log out, or let me open this in a new browser, for this one I'm not gonna log in, and if you get to the properties, we don't have the edit. Likewise, the view details, we don't have the edit, and it says that log in before sending an inquiry. So if I click on that, it is going to ask me to log in before I can send an inquiry. We are going to work on the updating of a property. So back to the editor, we are going to say that update a property that belongs to the login user, and make sure to include images upload, and also prefill the form with the existing data. With this one, let me hit enter. Alright, that is done. So, well, let me run the server. And let me reload. And if I click on the edit, unless I log out and log in again and sign in, edit, I have the form with the prefilled data, and I have the images as well. Let me change this one to version 2, and let me update, and indeed it has been updated. We are going to work on the deleting of a property. So back to the editor, I'm going to say that the next logic is about deleting a property that belongs to the login user. Alright, it is done. So let me accept, and I'm going to delete this particular one. And indeed, it has been deleted. Likewise, this. The next feature is going to be filtering, searching, and pagination. And the prompt goes like this: implement filtering, searching, and pagination both on the client and then on the server. accept, and if I go to properties here, we have this filtering about the property, the location, date added, and then the descending order. And if I filter by house, I got this one. And then what about the all properties? And we got it. At the home page, we are going to provide some content that's going to depict real-world real estate application. So back to the editor, we are going to provide this prompt. And it goes like this. At the home page, provide header with search bar that depicts real-world estate project and 6 properties being listed. And use your creativity to include some content and enter. Alright, let me accept. And if I reload, and indeed we have where formatted content. And if I search, for example, prime and then search, as you can see, it has filtered out all the properties with a name equal to prime. What has left is about the styling of the application. And I'm going to show you my process, how I use AI to style my project. And that is a UI. We are going to improve upon the home page. So the first step is that you need to know the brand colors that you are going to use. After knowing the brand colors, we're going to use 3 important keywords in our prompt. So after designing a particular page, we are going to make reference to that page to have consistency in our project. And to have consistency, we are always going to make a reference to a page that we think it is good for us. So let's get back to the editor, and this is my prompt. It goes like this. The homepage design is not up to standard. Make the layout more appealing, vibrant, prominent, and colorful. Include icons, call to actions, and use these brand colors. And these are my colors. You can use any colors of your choice, or you can insist on my colors. And don't forget about the responsiveness. So with this one, let's hit enter. Alright, it is done. So let me accept all, and back to the browser. Let's get back to the home page, reload, and indeed we have this beautiful layout. The next part is going to be the navbar. We need to improve the UI. Let's work on the navbar, and the prompt goes like this. Let's also work on the navbar. Make it responsive and use brand colors as specified on the home page. And I provided a link to the home page and use an icon for the logo. With this one, let's hit enter. Alright, it is done. So let me accept. And indeed, we have beautiful navbar. If I reduce the browser window, as you can see the responsiveness of it. Before working on the responsiveness of the input or the search bar, let's improve the property listings. As it stands right now, these properties colors does not match what we have already implemented. And note that a property can have multiple images, but as it stands right now, we are showing only a single image. So we need to improve this. So back to the editor, this is a prompt that I'm going to use. And it goes like this. Let's work on the property design. For the list of the properties, include thumbnail of images by using a package called React Slick and Slick Carousel. And when the image is being clicked, it should open a carousel and use our brand colors as specified on the home page. And don't forget about the responsiveness and include icons to make it more colorful and catchy. With this prompt, let's see the changes. And it is asking to install these packages. And most of the times it fails to install, so unless we install them manually. So what we can do here is that we're going to copy this and then open the terminal, shut down, and then install. Alright, let me accept. and back to the browser. Let me preview, and we have beautiful layout. If I click on the view details, we need to improve upon this layout also. We are also going to redesign the property details page. So back to the editor, this is the prompt. Also on the property details, redesign and use your creativity, and don't forget our brand colors, responsiveness, images using React Slick and Slick Carousel with colorful design. With this one, let's try out. Alright, let me accept, and let's look at the preview, reload, and then details, and we have beautiful layout, and we have these details. If I log out and go to the property details, it will ask me to sign in before I can send an inquiry. We are going to redesign the login form, and the prompt goes like this. Redesign the path that points to the login form, make it catchy, colorful, and modern, include icons, and don't forget about the responsiveness. Let's hit enter. And let me accept this command. Let's look at the preview, log in, and we have a beautiful login form. We are going to implement similar to the registration. So I'm going to say that implement similar design to, and then I'm going to provide the registration form, and that is the path, and hit enter. Alright, so let's look at the preview, and indeed we have this design. Let me log in to confirm if everything is working fine, and indeed it worked. We are also going to redesign the dashboard, and the prompt goes like this. Also redesign this path, and this path points to the dashboard, and that is a layout, and include properties and inquiries count. Use the brand colors as specified on the home page. Let's look at the preview dashboard, and we have beautiful design, and we have the listings count, and then new messages. Indeed, we have one message received. The next part is going to be redesigning the inquiries management. We are also going to redesign the inquiries management. So back to the editor, this is the prompt, and the prompt goes like this. Redesign the inquiries management, and this is a URL, and use our brand colors as specified at the home page. Make it more colorful and catchy, and then include some icons. With this one, let's try out. Alright, let me accept, and let's look at the preview, reload, and then inquiries, and we have beautiful design. At the moment, we have one received and then 0 sent message. For the received, I can now update either to pending, or to resolved, or archived. The next part is going to be the designing of the form. And this is a prompt for redesigning the form. Also redesign this path, and that is the path that points to the adding of properties, and that is a form. By providing the URL, the AI will know the kind of page to work with, and then enhance the layout, and don't forget our brand colors are specified at the home page. Include icons, and don't tamper with the main logic. Only the UI design. With this one, let's see the differences. Alright, it is done. So let me accept, and back to the page. If I click on the list property, this is a form, and it looks nice. The next step is going to be redesigning the editing of a property form. So back to the editor, I'm going to provide this prompt, and that is similar to the edit property. and I have provided the URL that points to the edit form. Alright, so let me accept and let me log out and then log in again and then edit, and we have beautiful design. If I update to version 3 and then update, let's get to the preview and it has been updated. We are going to make the header responsive. If I reduce the browser window, let's have a look. As you can see, it is not all that responsive. So I'm going to copy everything here and then back to the editor. I'm going to say that make the header content responsive, and then quote, I'm going to provide the content and hit enter. Alright, let me accept and then reload. We have beautiful layout. Let's also implement footer. So let's get back to the editor and I'm gonna say that provide beautiful footer based on the content of the application and use the brand colors with some icons. Alright, accept. And we have beautiful footer. Let me enlarge. And this is what we have. You can modify this content. And let me log out and let's have a look. If I get back to the home page and then click on the list property, it says that please log in to add a property. So I'm going to redesign this page also, and the prompt goes like this. Also redesign this page to make it more vibrant and colorful and use our brand colors as specified at the home page. And this is a path that I want to redesign, and it says that has this content. Please log in to add a property. For this one, it will know the particular page to redesign. So let me hit enter. Alright, let me accept. And this is what we have. So if I go to the home page and try to add a property without logging in, I'll have this one and it looks nice.